Today we're factoring perfect square trinomials. A trinomial just means a polynomial with three terms. Let's take a look at this first example. Y squared plus 2y plus 1. Typically what we want to do is we want to find two numbers that multiply to that last term, the 1. And so something times something that equals 1. And those same two numbers have to add up to the coefficient of the middle term. And so this one is pretty easy. We know that 1 times 1 would equal 1. If those are both positive, 1 times 1 equals 1, we would also know that 1 plus 1 equals 2, and that is the coefficient of our middle term. And so we've already found the number that we want to be using. So we're looking for two sets of parentheses that when we multiply them together give us this. So we need a y in the first spot for each of those so that y times y equals y squared. And then we're going to put the numbers we found, the 1 and the 1, in the second spot. And since both of those were positive, we want plus in between. Now you'll notice that each of these sets of parentheses is exactly the same. So I could write this as the quantity y plus 1 squared. That's where the term perfect square comes from. It means that both of these are exactly the same. All right, let's take a look at a second example. We have x squared minus 12x plus 36. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 36. Something times something equals 36. Those same two numbers need to add up to a negative 12. And so I'm realizing that I either need two positives or two negatives. And in this case, I want the two negatives so that when I add the two negatives, I get the negative 12. So I'm thinking about this and knowing that this is a perfect square trinomial, and so the two numbers that I pick will be exactly the same. And I'm thinking, oh, if I take the square root of 36, that's 6. Well, 6 times 6 is 36, but 6 plus 6 is positive 12. So I want these to be negative. Negative 6 times negative 6, and the negative 6 plus negative 6 would equal the negative 12. That will work. And so the two sets of parentheses that I have, x minus 6 and x minus 6, I can enter it this way, or I can rewrite this as x minus 6, the quantity squared.